Greetings, everyone. So I decided to do something different today, and I got a bunch of Scientology articles I'm going to read. I wanted to share some things with you guys that my mama taught me. And my voice is goofy because of the acid reflux. I'm always drinking stuff I shouldn't. So it's no big deal. My body doesn't like coffee anymore, unfortunately. So, you know how when you're a child, you don't understand the things that your parents are trying to teach you. But as you get older, you realize what a good life lesson your mom or dad was giving you. So, as I think back, I just think I was very shy, extremely shy. I'm not shy anymore. Everybody laughs about that. But I was extremely shy, very sensitive, very kind-hearted, which I still am. I'm tough now, but I'm kind-hearted. But there are a lot of things that I went through in school that were difficult. But one of the hardest things for me was I was always teased relentlessly for my red hair. I had real thick red curly hair. And it's not as red or thick anymore. It's still thick, but I got some white hairs coming in. But I mean, when you talk about brutal teasing, I was teased brutally, brutally. Sometimes kids would pull my hair. I wished I would have known how to fight back more when I was younger, but I didn't. But my mother used to say, because this went on for a lot of years, and she would say, "Honey, they're jealous of you. Don't you worry about them. They wish they had beautiful hair like you." Which, as I got older, I realized that was true. So that was one lesson she taught me. And, especially as a girl or a woman, we know it's really unfortunate, but there's so much competition, which is very unnatural. And it's instilled into little girls at a young age. It still is. It's actually worse now than it was. It's always been bad, but now it's even worse. And a disclaimer, I'm not religious at all. You guys know this. However, I do feel like there are a lot of verses in the Bible that are profound and can teach you a lesson. So my mother used to always say, "Do unto others as you have done unto you." I agree with that. 100%. Now, if somebody is bullying you or mistreating you, then you have every right to fight back and defend yourself. And I've noticed in these legal systems, in our systems that I talk about a lot, they're built in a lot of ways to just repress people. But there are ways to, I don't like the word fight too much, but there are ways to address your concerns without getting into trouble or being disrespectful. Trying to think of some other ones. One she taught me when I was in high school, and you guys are, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Well, I joined the Army when I was 17 years old with parental permission. I was on technically 16, because I was on the delayed entry program. But my mother, I was always upset that I was going to leave my high school friends, like my girlfriends. And she would always tell me, "Honey, it seems really important now, but years from now you're going to see that you're not so close to them and you kind of grew apart. Or basically she would say, you're going to see years from now that it wasn't as important as it seems like it is right now. And I would say those kinds of upsets that we have, it's still true, really. Definitely wasn't the typical, how would you say it? Like I wasn't the typical stereotypical woman of America. Like the house and baking the cakes and all that kind of stuff. But it's really interesting, when I look back and think about just little things she would say. Like if I would cry about how other kids were treating me, oh, it makes me sad. Ooh. She would tell me, they are not worth your tears. Don't waste your tears on them. It's true. I suppose maybe that's partly the reason I got so interested in studying narcissism and basically toxic, cruel, mean, abusive behaviors. Because it happened to me as well as other people that I cared about. So I always felt like it's my duty to warn other people. I don't like to only talk about narcissism because, for one, I believe in law of attraction. And law of attraction is it's very deep. So like, I would say if a child was abused, they didn't really attract that. What happened was, because I mean, my childhood wasn't perfect, but if a child is heinously abused, that, and Abraham Hicks talks about it, is that the reason, and I'm never saying that a child gets their karma. I don't believe in that personally. But I feel like when those horrible things happen to people, it's because people around them are carrying a lower vibration. Like that's what I believe. So I don't believe like automatically that a child attracts, abuse or anything. That's some bullshit. I don't believe in that. But I do believe that we attract our vibrational match. So vibrational match would be whatever emotions or feelings that you're having. It's basically you're sending out a signal to the universe, and the universe is going to match to you what you are putting out. But it doesn't mean like if you cry or you get angry that you're a bad person. Anyways, back to lessons my mother taught me. But it's interesting because the things that were so important to you as a child or as a young adult, just slowly kinds of fades away. And if you grow, because some people don't really grow, but if you grow as a person, you're going to see that the things that mattered before don't matter that much. And the more that you grow spiritually, you're not going to have much to talk about with those same people. And it could be relatives too. My mother would tell me, don't pay attention to them. Yeah, and so I'm trying to think of some other ones. She was very protective. That's why I never got really, I got yelled at and stuff, but as far as sexual abuse, nothing. My brother didn't get it. My sisters, to my knowledge, did not get it because my mother was going to make sure, and she would tell anybody, if anyone touches my child, I'll kill him. And she meant it. She was protective. I think I think for me, how I learned more from my mother was just by watching how she, it was like that, what do they taught, what do they, the therapists and psychologists, they say that, and child development people, they will say that the children, I think it's mirroring, like mirror, not the same kind of mirroring in narcissism, but the child is going to see what the adult does and learn from that. So that's how I learned as a young girl. And for years, everyone around me, like my relatives or the little village that I lived in as a young girl, they would always say, "You're just like your mother." And I take pride in that. And my mother had issues. She had drinking issue, but she was sexually molested by her father from the ages of 3 to 13, and her sisters as well. And I'm going to talk about that one day. I gotta like map it out how I tell the story. Oh, the other one that I really love that she would always tell me, and I till this day I agree with it. Beauty is as beauty does. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. So you can be externally beautiful, but if you're a demon inside, that's what you really are. And honestly, I can think of some of the narcissists that I had in my life exactly the same. As far as aesthetically beautiful, like the most gorgeous external, but the insides were just evil, demonic. I would wish for you little girls to know that too. Nowadays, I would wish that they would understand beauty is as beauty does. Beauty is not just external beauty. You don't have to be super thin, or you don't have to have your eyebrows tweezed at 6. Don't get me started, you guys. Don't. Just don't. But yeah, those are just a few lessons I learned from my mother, and I kind of want to do something lighthearted today. I got some things going on in my life, and I just want to think about happiness and joy, and I do like covering the Scientology stuff, but I do need to surround myself with happy moments and joy and love and healing, because that's how we heal and become better people, have better lives. So I hope this was helpful. It's not even just always to help people. I just like to share the lessons I've learned. Could take it or leave it, whatever you want. But, I feel like I would be doing a disservice to people in general if I didn't pass on what I've learned. And I always do try to help or mentor the young people as much as I can. I don't have my own, but I do try to give back as much as I can. So anyways, you guys have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day.